Hello, this is Kingston inviting you to join me on Wednesday the 16th, Thursday the 17th and Friday the 18th of February between 7 and 10 p.m. right here on Radio Aire, when I'll be broadcasting live via satellite from Disneyland, California, USA. Brought to you in association with Thomas Cook, the travel agent for holidays to America. We'll capture the magic of Disneyland on Radio Aire, together with the best music and celebrity interviews. Join me, Carl Kingston, on Wednesday the 16th, Thursday the 17th and Friday the 18th of February from 7 to 10 nightly, when Radio Aire broadcasts live via satellite from Disneyland, California, USA.
Carl Kingston.
Radio Aire, first for news. 96.3 FM, Super Stereo, right and center.
Radio Aire reaches out with Carl Kingston.
We are broadcasting live from Disneyland, California, USA. We're broadcasting from the Magic Kingdom of Disneyland to the United Kingdom. The very first ever satellite radio broadcast from Disneyland to the UK. Temperatures here, it is absolutely gorgeous. The sun is shining. I tell you what, I wish I could do a radio program every day with weather like this. You're probably wondering, am I sunburnt? Well, the answer is probably very, very slightly. I'm going slightly blotchy. We're going to be talking to so many interesting people later on. We got great music for you. The ambassador from Disneyland is standing by to welcome me. We'll be chatting with that young lady very, very shortly. Great music, as I said. Fine Young Cannibals. I tell you, this song is constantly on the radio over here. Every time I switch on the radio, Fine Young Cannibals is booming out. We'll take a look at exactly what American radio is playing. We'll be talking extensively about US radio and talking about life generally in California. She drives me crazy on Radio Aire on AM and FM stereo, live from the USA via satellite. Yeah, Fine Young Cannibals, and She Drives Me Crazy on Radio Aire. We're making our first satellite broadcast from Disneyland. Of course, Radio Aire last year was broadcasting live from Disney World, from the Orlando area. And, well, this time we're right across the country. We're about as far away, again, as Radio Aire was when we broadcast from Disney World, sort of across to the East Coast to the West Coast. Is about as far, again, travelling to where we are now. As I mentioned earlier, the weather is absolutely beautiful. I'm just outside the castle at the present time. A couple of seconds ago, we had some ducks wandering around. I might actually go and feed the ducks a little bit later on. Life in California, what is it like? Well, it is absolutely relaxed. I could just sit here and bask in the sun, as I said earlier on, for absolutely ages. But of course, we've got loads and loads of things to get through. I had the pleasure of going yesterday to have a word with B.A. Robertson. He's a guy, of course, who recorded Bang Bang. He's had a lot of success in the UK, been involved with Mike and the Mechanics. We're going to be hearing that interview around about 8:15 coming up a little bit later on. I'll also tell you about food as well. I have done nothing but eat since I arrived here, which can't be bad. Eating is, you know, some people live to eat and some people eat to live. I actually live to eat, so California is a great place for me. Music as well. A lot of great American records in the chart, like this one from a diva. This is currently happening in the UK. Not actually heard on the radio so much over here, which I think is a great shame. Maybe I've been listening to the wrong radio stations. This is all about a little bit of respect, originally recorded by Otis Redding. It's Radio Aire, AM and FM stereo, live from Disneyland, California, USA. Radio Aire with a song from a diva, that is Respect. Very shortly I'm going to be chatting with a young lady called Wendy Freeland, who's the ambassador to Disneyland. Wendy is going to be painting a picture of what Disneyland is exactly like. If you've never had the opportunity to come across to Disneyland and to California itself, we'll be finding out a little more about that later. Featured album of the week this week, by the way, is Art of Noise. It's the best of Art of Noise. You have a chance to win a copy of that later on. I'm going to be playing you a track each hour. We're brought to you in association with Thomas Cook, the travel agent for holidays to America. Carl Kingston through until 10 this evening. As always, it's Whaley on the wireless. We've got all sorts of things happening here. We've got cameras, we've got people filming. The big thing about Disney, actually, and about California itself is looking at the delight of all the smiles on kids' faces. You never actually see a kiddie crying or anything like that. It's just absolute pure magic. And me being one of the biggest kids there is, I'm having an absolutely great time as well. The music continues on Radio Aire. Up next, we've got S-Express.
Carl hits Kingston.
S-Express on Radio Aire with the current single. That's called Hey Music Lover. They had a hit not so long ago in America with the theme from the S-Express. That was actually quite an unusual piece of music to make it on American radio, because one thing about American radio now and again is that it's quite conservative and they've got a very tight playlist. They're not quite sure what to play and don't want to offend the listeners now and again. So someone like S-Express is quite unusual music, shall we say. Temperatures at the moment in Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Today's temperature looking for a high of 54 and a low of 43. I'm not quite sure what it's like back in the West Yorkshire area. I imagine it's quite nippy. I'll probably find out later on as we connect with the studio, etc. Chatting with Wendy Freeland now, who in fact is the ambassador to Disneyland, who is here to welcome me. All smiles and looking ready for a great day here at Disneyland. What can we expect today at Disneyland?
Well, today at Disneyland, we'll be open until about 6, and we have 7 themed lands, and I don't know what you're going to be able to do later on today, but experience all the different lands we have here.
For somebody who's coming to Disneyland for the first time, there are so many rides. I mean, really, you're spoilt for choice, aren't you? What would you recommend for me to actually go on, or someone coming over here for the first time? What's the thing we should head for first?
Well, actually, all the rides are fun for youngsters and adults, because that's what Walt intended. He wanted you to have he wanted a place where everyone could have fun. But if you've never been on Star Tours before, I would go there first. That's in Tomorrowland, and you can actually go to the moon indoor and experience something like the Star Wars movies, which George Lucas produced. So definitely Star Tours and Captain EO, and Pirates of the Caribbean's a lot of fun. You could just make a day out of it.
Actually, I must say, Pirates of the Caribbean is my favourite. We went on that, I think it was about 3 times yesterday. I'm lucky because I've been on it before, but it was one of the things I headed for first. Quite a few of us over here at the present time from the UK, and that's one of the things we said, let's go on that first. So I'm quite interested to hear that you recommend that as well. What about food? There's, I was talking about food earlier. There's so much on offer here. I can't believe it. All the different types of food. Explain something about sort of American hamburgers. They're not exactly the same as in England. There's so much salad and different stuff inside, isn't there?
There's a lot of hamburgers here at Disneyland. Also in New Orleans Square, we have food, a Southern French cuisine actually, in theming with New Orleans Square. And every land you go into, the theming with the food is the same. So there's a lot of wonderful food here. You can put on a lot of weight here at Disneyland, that's for sure, with the popcorn and everything.
How long have you actually worked here at Disneyland, Wendy?
I've been here 3.5 years. I started out, I worked in the shops in Adventureland and Frontierland, and then went to guest relations. I was a tour guide, and then became ambassador for 1989. So I've been here 3.5 years, wonderful years.
So you're the lady to stick with, as far as I'm concerned. You can show me all the way around and take me on some of those rides that I might not have had the opportunity to go on. Is that right?
That would be a lot of fun.
What about the weather today? Is that, is it pretty good, looking for a high of 54? Is that normal for the time of year?
Actually, it's a little bit warmer, I think. I'm not an expert, that's for sure. It feels like it's even warmer than 54 at this moment. The sun's out, and that doesn't feel 54 to me. I don't know. But does it feel 54 to you?
Oh, it's pretty good. I've got my jeans on at the moment. I'm going to have a change, I think, very shortly. I'm going to slip into my shorts, I think, and catch the horrors from the engineering team here. Wendy, thank you very much indeed for talking.
Thank you. Welcome to Disneyland, Carl.
Thank you very much. I am having a great time. As I mentioned earlier, you got a chance to win a copy of that featured album of the week this week, which is The Art of Noise. Something that's doing very well in the UK at the moment, Starship. I just love this band. Of course, they had a big #1 hit single in the UK not so long ago with Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. Here's the current single on Radio Aire, AM and FM stereo, live from Disneyland, California, USA.
You're locked into non-stop hits. Carl Kingston.
Radio